Olympic and world 3,000-meter steeplechase champion Conseslus Kipruto has recovered from the coronavirus. The 25-year-old missed the opening Diamond League meeting in Monaco on August the 14th after announcing that he had tested positive for the coronavirus. Speaking to CGTN, Kipruto announced that he has returned to training after getting clearance to return to training, having made a full recovery. The Olympic champion had expressed his intention to attempt to lower the world record in Monaco. Kenya has announced phased resumption of sporting activities in the country following months of lockdown occasioned by the spread of the pandemic. Since its induction in 2004, the World Anti-Doping Agency whereabouts rules registered success in nabbing cheats, particularly in athletics. A number of elite athletes from around the world have been sanctioned for doping owing to the introduction of the system. Kenyan athletes have recently become notorious for failing to constantly update whereabouts, leading to suspensions and bans. This year, over 24 Kenyan athletes, including 2017 World Men's 1,500 meters champion Elijah Manangoi, have fallen afoul with the rules. And as the nation grapples with dealing with these rule violations, a section of athletes are now calling for more robust measures to curb the vice.
Yeah, me normally I keep my whereabouts up to date. I go tested. I do what is normally to be done when it comes to doping, because I know the doping is a serious crime now. So when it comes to those people, I feel so sad for them. And I requested them so that they can get a learning, they update their whereabouts. That's what I'm going to tell them now.
Sometimes back I had said, we need to talk to these athletes. We need to advise them. We need to say, let bygone be bygones. But now it's getting worse. If we are getting big names, what else are we waiting? It is either to stop any athlete that is even training now and make sure that we start a new chapter.
Well, for more on the ongoing fight against doping in athletics, I'm delighted to be joined by CGTN's Leon Sayenga from Kampala, Uganda. Leon, welcome to the show. Leon, this year has seen a spike in whereabouts rules violations amongst African athletes. What do you attribute this to?
Well, it's a bit difficult to try and put fingers and particular notes to why there are several violations of the whereabout rules in Africa. But it definitely comes much as understanding what those rules require of an athlete. They require an athlete to give the details of where they will actually be for, well, 365 days a year. Now, it's quite complicated even as an individual to tell you where I'll probably be on 4th of November, for example. But even still, it is the sense of responsibility on the athlete and the demand that comes with them being at the top and being at the level. Now, for the bigger question is, why would you miss giving those particular details? And for this, it's either you're, well, a doper or a negligent athlete. So putting particular reasons to the violation of these rules could definitely be hard. But even still, and like I've said, it's one of two things. You're either guilty party and doping, and or you're just a negligent athlete.
Well, Leon, when you look at Uganda, we see a country that has managed to keep the sanctioned athletes' numbers low. What can the rest of Africa learn from the anti-doping measures you have in place over there?
Well, Uganda's case is rather unique, especially within the region that has quite a number of athletes. Kenya has produces the biggest number. Ethiopia, just further north. As for Uganda, it comes back down to the nature of the athletes. They are disciplined athletes. If you've probably seen some of them, Stephen Kiprotich, Joshua Cheptegei, Jacob Kiplimo, name them. Also the ladies, Halima Nakai. These are down-to-earth athletes. Now, you quite can't expect the demands that come with the competition and the level of competition they're in to be involved in very much dubious kind of things. But even still, there's more work that's been done by the Federation here and also the Uganda Olympic Committee, where they've engaged these athletes, their coaches, the doctors in anti-doping programs, education programs. More recently, there was an anti-doping session on the internet for some of these athletes. So there's been continuous engagement, and this is where I believe some of these athletes have been able to keep away from the vice.
All right, Leon, before I let you go, here's the magic question that I believe that needs to be asked. Leon, do you believe African authorities should put in place stiffer punishment for dope cheats? From your perspective, how do you see it?
It's a tough one because what the global punishments are affect everybody, and very much the same way, depending entirely probably on the severity, on how much further you've been involved in doping. But even still, I believe African authorities can put in place regulations. Those may go beyond just the federation and become national laws. For a couple of examples here, for doctors or maybe athletes that are found to be guilty of being involved in doping situations, that probably have prison sentences. But that aside, I think what African authorities should do is to, again, engage the athletes, have more information, more education, and teach more of what the disadvantages of doping are to some of these athletes, and not just at the elite level, but also at the grassroots level. This, of course, catch them young is the phrase that you can actually use here, and ensure that they have much of the knowledge and know the consequences of it all right from when they're young, and they can compete through the ages, knowing that it is definitely not a very good vice to, well, dope.
All right, Leon Senga, let's leave it there for now. That's Leon Senga speaking to us live from Kampala. We appreciate you speaking to us.